Okay, I'm not quite sure where I'm going to start with this. I'll probably end up doing some editing, hopefully anyway. But today I watched a video of a very good friend of mine talking about PTSD. For those people who don't know what PTSD is, it's post-traumatic stress disorder. I was diagnosed with PTSD about 5 years ago. I had been misdiagnosed for about a decade prior to that with just depression. Unfortunately, it took them over a decade to realize that my symptoms were more than just depression. But she brought up a really good point in her video where people feel like they have the right to give you advice. They get over it, or don't worry about it, think positive. You've got lots of people around you who love you, so that stuff that happened to you, you should just forget that it ever happened. And it's easy for somebody who's never been in this situation to say, get over it. It's very easy. And it actually kind of pisses me off in a way, because I've dealt with it since I was a little girl. The full effects of it didn't hit me until I was about 12 years old. I'm almost 34, so I will have dealt with this for 20 plus years. And for the longest time, I thought I was crazy. I thought I was stupid. I thought that there was something wrong with me, that the world was correct and I was f***ed up. Something about me had gone severely wrong, and I couldn't for the life of me figure out why. And I remember the day the doctor told me, you have post-traumatic stress disorder. I looked at her like she was crazy. To me, PTSD was only something that you got when you'd served your country, when you'd seen war. And I was educated, to say the least, as to what exactly is post-traumatic stress disorder. It's exactly what it says. Post, meaning in your past. Traumatic, if you don't know what the word traumatic is, Google it. Stress, again, if you don't know what that means. And disorder. So you have to sit there and you ask yourself, wow, okay, it's sunk in. I now realize that I have PTSD. What can I do about it? And I struggled with that question for the longest time. Even before I was diagnosed. I was all gung-ho, I was going to get help, and I wasn't going to be crazy anymore. You know, I was going to be healthy and happy, and yay! I started therapy 8 years ago. Here I am, 8 years later, still in therapy. And proud of it, by the way. Because I made the conscious decision to get better. But my first time around 8 years ago, I thought I was ready for it. Oh boy, was I ever wrong. 6 sessions in, I looked at my counselor and I said, I'm so sorry for wasting your time. I'm not ready to do this. Because when you suffer from PTSD and you make the conscious decision to get better and move forward and become a survivor rather than a victim, when you make that decision, it means opening up a can of worms. It meant that I had to openly talk about being sexually abused by multiple people for multiple years. And that's a scary thing to verbalize for anyone. Because there are still days where I feel like I am the victim. And it's easy to get caught up in that victim role. But I'm going to tell you something to anybody out there who's been a victim of sexual assault, sexual abuse, violence of any kind. Every day that you're here, you win. they lose. Every day I get up and I do my thing, and I make these videos, and I make my music, and I sing lullabies to my unborn child, and I play with my dog. I've won. They no longer have power over me. And it can happen for you too. It's hard. To those people who say, get over it, easier said than done. Walk a minute in my shoes, and then you might understand that much. Just a fraction of what I deal with on a daily basis. Post-traumatic stress disorder never goes away. Ever. Shrink looked right at me and said, there's always going to be triggers. There's always going to be nightmares. It's what you do with them that counts. And you have to make the conscious decision to move forward. And I'm not saying that it's easy, but I can tell you from personal experience, I am living proof that it can be done. It's a struggle. It's like climbing up a hill and it's pissing rain out. So while you're trying to climb that hill, you're slipping and sliding through the mud. That's pretty much what it's like. But the better your support system, the better grasp that you'll have slipping and sliding in the mud. So you grab those people around you that support you and love you, and you hold on to them, and you allow them to help you to find the better you. I mean, I wouldn't be here today if I didn't have the friends and family that I have. And for the longest time, I thought I didn't have friends and family. It couldn't have been further from the truth, you know? I was like, wow, I was so blind for so long. They were all just sitting right here in front of me. Hi, sorry. I was blind, didn't know that you were here, didn't know that you cared, because I was stuck in that black hole of anger and pain and fear and frustration. I was stuck there. And when you're stuck there, it's really, really hard to see anything other than that. You know, so I want you to know, anybody out there who suffers from PTSD, you're not alone. There are many people who have been diagnosed or have been misdiagnosed and don't know they actually have it. If you think that you might suffer from it, go talk to your doctor, mention it, you know, and say, hey, is this a possibility? And what can I do to get better? It'll never be 100%. You're never going to be, you know, the top of the world. It's never going to happen. But you can do so much more. You can get almost there. And there'll be things that'll knock you back from time to time, but you get up, you dust yourself off, and you say, I'm going forward. I don't care. You guys can try to drag me down all you want, but I'm not doing it anymore. I'm going to go forward. You know, to you people who think that it's easy to get over it, push it down, forget it ever happened, unless you've walked a minute in someone's shoes who suffers from PTSD, and it doesn't even have to be this form of PTSD, to anybody who suffered a post-traumatic stress, you know, unless you've walked a minute in their shoes, you have absolutely no right to judge those people. So you should really do yourself and everyone a favor and just keep your mouth shut. So to all of you who suffer from PTSD, I really hope that on some level this video can inspire you and make you smile and make you think and make you want to move forward. Because if I've achieved this much in helping you, then it helps me to grow as a better person, and it helps me to get through another day of living with post-traumatic stress disorder.